Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be reviewing my top 10 favorite foundations, and these are some that I've been using for years and years, and also some that I just kind of newly acquired that I've been loving and I wanted to share with you guys. So if you want to see what those are, please keep watching. Okay guys, so my hair is super crazy today. I decided to let it air dry, and this is what happens. It gets really curly. So just bear with me through this video. Okay, so I kind of broke these down into coverage. So I'm gonna start with sheer and I'm gonna work myself up to, or work my way up to a full coverage foundation. Basically just going to give you guys a lowdown of some of the textures, formulations, all of that. So if you guys are interested in any of these foundations, you know exactly what you're buying, getting yourself into. So yes, let's get started. The first foundation I want to talk about that I've been using for years and years, this is probably the first foundation I've ever purchased. And I used to wear this in high school. Not all the time, but if I wanted like a little color, this is the one, which I'm sure this goes for a lot of you guys out there because this was the only one my mom let me buy. But this is the MAC Studio Face and Body Foundation. So they market this as a foundation, but really I call it like a tinted moisturizer. It's super lightweight. For those of you out there that have not used this or don't know about this, it just comes in this little squeeze tube here, but it literally, I just use a drop sometimes, this much, and it shears out so beautifully just to mimic like your natural skin, honestly. And it'll just give you a tint of color with a little bit of just like a natural glow shine. But I love this foundation because I feel like it doesn't clog your pores or doesn't feel super heavy at all. It's super lightweight, you guys. Like, I wish you could feel this on my hand right now because it just feels like, once it dries a little bit, it just feels like, sorry, I was doing lipstick swatches earlier. But anyways, so this just feels like skin, mimics skin. If you guys are looking for something like super lightweight, just to give your skin a little bit of a tint and moisture, this is the way to go. This is not a foundation that's going to give you coverage in the least bit. But sometimes I'll use this with like a powder foundation on top of it, which kind of defeats the purpose. But if I do want just more of like a sheer glow, and then I'll powder like my T-zone just to keep that part a little bit more matte, I will definitely use this. I'll keep this in my bag and just use this as like a concealer sometimes, or I'll just do it all over my face as like a little tint. But love this. They used to have like the big bottles a long time ago, and now they shrunk it to this little baby size, which I don't really care for that much because the big bottle was just so great to have. I just felt like, I don't know, I'd have it for like years. Wouldn't get bad. But anyways, yeah, this is great. Go check this out if you guys are looking for like a super lightweight foundation that's more of like a tinted moisturizer. The next foundation I want to talk about is more of a lightweight foundation as well, but it's the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Youth Boosting Perfect Skin Foundation. It comes in a tube like this. I love this foundation basically because a lot of the foundations I'm actually going to be talking about today just give more like of a natural glow to the skin, even though they might have more full coverage or they're more sheer. I don't love using foundations that are super matte just because I feel like they're super drying, and then I'm like putting more moisture or putting more highlighter on or something to give my skin an extra glow. This one is one that you will have to like shake. But it has definitely more full coverage or more coverage than the face and body. You could see it right here that it definitely has a little bit more coverage, like I said, but it's super dewy and I feel like it just looks so beautiful on the skin. Once it's sheared out, I feel like it just looks so irresistibly beautiful. One thing that I do like to do with a lot of once we get more into like the full coverage foundations, is I feel like a lot of people get scared because they're so thick and so heavy. But one of my tips is to literally pump the smallest amount. I feel like sometimes people think like, oh, it's full coverage, so I have to do like 5 or 6 pumps, and that way I'm gonna get the most full coverage on my face. But really, that's what makes it super cakey, and that's what people end up not liking. So if you just do like 1 pump, because it is so saturated and very like thick already, I just do 1 pump and I shear it out with like a really, like something like this kind of brush, and I shear it out, and I feel like it just gives that beautiful full coverage, but it's not going to be super like thick feeling. So keep that in mind when you're using more of like a full coverage foundation. So the reason I like this Charlotte Tilbury one is, like I said, it gives really good hydration. I feel like it's not as thick as like a normal kind of like full coverage foundation would be, but it says Light Wonder, so it is supposed to be more of like a lightweight foundation, but it just is super flawless, super luminous, and yeah, give this a go if you guys are looking for just more of like an everyday lightweight foundation. Okay, so the next one I'm going to jump into is a kind of a newer one. I didn't think I was going to love, but now I'm obsessed with it. It's the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear Foundation. So this also comes in a pump. I must like foundations in a pump because this is like all I have to show you guys today. But this one is great too. I keep layering here. Let me work down my arm. So sometimes I'll literally just do this small amount of a pump on the back of my hand or just on my brush, and I'll kind of tap it out like this if I'm using it just around my eye area. It's always good to use your fingers too, because it warms up the product and disperses it a lot like better than sometimes a brush would. So this one I would say is a little bit more matte. This one has a little bit more full coverage than that Charlotte Tilbury one, and it doesn't have the glow. Do you see how this one up here, like when you shine it in the light, it definitely has that like natural skin finish. This one definitely is a little bit more matte, but I feel like it still gives that glow once it kind of like soaks into the skin, or like throughout the day. I feel like I'll get a more natural finish than it's looking right now on camera, but this one still is a really great just everyday foundation if you guys are looking for a little bit more coverage that's a little bit more matte than the Charlotte Tilbury one, but still easy to use, really easy to blend out, and I feel like I never get super dry with this foundation, but I just love the coverage it gives too. Sorry, my nails are chipped again. So the next foundation, I'm sure you guys have maybe heard about before, but this is a little bit more of the high-end foundation, kind of that I will be talking about, but this is the Chanel Vitalumiere Fluid. So it comes like this. But this one is super luxurious feeling. This one is super lightweight as well. Well, I shouldn't say super lightweight, but it definitely is more lightweight than some of the other ones. So I'm just gonna put a little drop here. But I love this one because it does finish super natural once it's blended out. I'm not gonna say this one is super dry because it does give a little sheen. But this is great if you guys want to just feel like super luxurious and just feel super high end. I do love the smell of this foundation. I've always loved the smell of like all Chanel products. It just has like, I don't know, this element of feeling just really high end and like beautiful. But yeah, this one is just really great for if you want a lot of moisture, a lot of hydration, but nothing like too heavy. This one is just really easy to blend, and sometimes I'll just use my fingers when I apply this foundation because it's not super thick. But yeah, this one is a little bit more like matte feeling for sure, and it dries like super even and just super like not tacky. It just dries like skin. So go check that one out. I have the colors, let's see, Ivory and Soft Bisque. Sometimes I'll mix these guys together, but one is a little bit more like yellow and one's a little bit more neutral. So sometimes mixing these together is the way to go. But yes, love those. If you guys are looking for more of like an affordable foundation that's a little bit more full coverage, it is the Morphe. This is the Fluidity. It is the matte foundation. So this one definitely gives a lot of coverage, I think. And definitely a little bit more matte than some of the others I've showed you. I'm gonna blend it out with a brush. So I just put it right here. And I'm just going to like tap this into the skin. So if you guys, so this isn't gonna match obviously because it's the inside of my arm, but if you guys use more of like a tapping motion like this instead of like a streaking rubbing motion, it'll blend into the skin a lot smoother and give more of like an even coverage. So this one definitely you can tell is like matte. It has no sheen to it. So this one is still giving that glow up here. And this one is definitely a little bit more matte. So this one, I love being able to actually like work with this and give like more layers. So right now I feel like you can still see some of like my veins, but if you do another layer, this will definitely build coverage. It does almost have like a little bit of sheen to it, but it's definitely matte, and I definitely feel like this lasts really great throughout the day. Whenever I put this on in the morning and set it with like a translucent powder, I feel like I'm good to go for the whole day. Like I don't have to even set my foundation or like blot off any like excess oil on my T-zone or anything. So this one's pretty affordable. I love the coverage it gives, and it does say full coverage foundation. So I love that. It definitely looks full coverage, and you can layer this one as well. So my next foundation is one that I used to use on my clients all the time, and they were like obsessed with it. And I was like, I need to try this out because it just blended out so beautifully on their skin and just looked like so flawless and airbrushed. This is probably like the one foundation where I've been like, whoa, this literally looks like airbrush. It's the Jane Iredale Glow Time Foundation. It comes in another squeeze tube. It does say full coverage mineral BB cream. So even though it does say BB cream, I feel like it kind of contradicts itself because it says full coverage, and usually BB creams are a little bit more like sheer, almost mimicking like that Face and Body from MAC, but like creamier. But I don't feel like this one is like a BB cream. I actually feel like it's very thick. So when I use this, I'll definitely use the smallest amount. So I'm just putting it right here. I just have like a little bit right here. I'm just gonna share this out for you guys. So this one has the most beautiful glow to it, but it has a lot of coverage. So if you guys are looking for like the best of both worlds, coverage, glow without being too matte, I love this foundation. Sorry, my lights aren't that great, and I put it in like a really weird place in my hand, so I can go. Anyways, it's right here, but oh, I just feel like when it's blended out, it just looks so beautiful. This one I just got online. I feel like they don't have this at any stores yet. I feel like she's only online. So the colors were a little bit hard to match, but I got the color 1.14. I'll link it down below for you guys, but yeah, this foundation is just really beautiful if you want definitely more full coverage, a little bit of a glow, a little bit of both worlds of being matte and glowy at the same time. But I feel like the coverage is really beautiful. Love that. So another kind of bougie one, I like to use that word, is one that I've been using for a very long time as well. I'm sure you guys have heard of this, but it's the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This got so many awards. It was in so many magazines that so many people like love this foundation and are still using this for like, oh my God, so many things. I always see it floating around online, but I got this in the color 4.75, and this foundation is literally what the description is, luminous silk foundation. It seriously feels like you are applying like such a baby soft like texture to your skin. I'm gonna what is down here. This I won't use, or I feel like I won't need to use a ton of it on my, sorry, these swatches are interesting. Ton of it on my face, but when I blend it out, oh my God, you guys, it just feels like a dream. It has a really beautiful coverage. It just looks like skin. It has a little bit of sheen to it. And I feel like for people that have like dry skin or oily skin, whatever, maybe a combination, I feel like this is the way to go because it's not trying to be something it's not. It just like blends out insane. Like I literally, you guys see, like I literally blended it out right here, but it just looks like, it doesn't even look like anything. Like I know it's a darker color than my skin, but it just looks like, I don't even know how they happened to just make this look so just beautiful and looks like skin. So yeah, if you guys are looking for more of a softer finish, something that just blends into the skin really easily and just makes your skin look really dewy and natural, that's the way to go. It smells so pretty too. It smells like very Giorgio. It smells like flowers or something. So the last three foundations I'm going to talk about, I kind of left to the very end because they are my ride or dies. I've been using these foundations for years. Well, two of them I have been. And they are, I don't know, every single time I buy a new foundation, I'll use it for a month or two, and then I always go back to these two, and I'm like, why did I get a new foundation? I should have just kept on using these all along. But they're my all-time favorites. I will always have these in my collection or always repurchase them because they're so amazing. So first, I'm going to talk about the MAC Studio Sculpt Foundation. When I was working at MAC, I would use this on almost every single one of my clients, whether they were I cannot speak today. Whether they were super oily, super dry, had texture, had, you know, like baby soft skin, anything, I would use this foundation on them. And everyone loved it. Almost every single person I put this on would purchase it. They'd be like, oh my God, my skin looks amazing. What did you use? And then I told them this and they were like, oh really? I like was always so scared of that foundation. It was always so heavy and thick. But my trick to this foundation was teaching people how to use it, because everyone that just purchased this and didn't go to a MAC expert and was just like, oh, this kind of looks great. Like, can you like, you know, match me up with a color? I just want to try it out. And you weren't actually informing them and telling them how to use this foundation. It was scary for a lot of people because it is extremely, extremely thick. So I can understand why people were scared to use this. But the trick with this foundation is literally to use the smallest amount. Like you will have this foundation for like years just because it's the greatest formulation, but you have to know how to use it. So I'm going to explain it to you guys. Okay, so this is more of like an oil-based foundation that's super thick. So think of like a BB cream times 10. So what I would tell people to do is use, like, if I'm doing a full face, like sometimes I would just use like just that amount. That's it for a full entire face, full coverage. But some people would be like using like half a tube for their face and they'd be like, oh my God, I feel disgusting. I need to wipe this off. It's so thick. And I'd be like, oh my God, you're using it the incorrect way. But anyways, I love this foundation because it's very, very flawless. This is the foundation to go with because it's just super like airbrushed looking and it looks like you have a filter on your face. It's the craziest thing. But anyways, I love this foundation for any kind of looks. I mean, honestly, you can use this every single day if you guys want and just sheer it out. The other important thing is this foundation has to be used with a brush. I feel like these are just my recommendations and my tips and tricks to you guys. If you use this with your hands and your fingers, I just feel like it doesn't give the same effect. And I'll use that tapping method where I'm just kind of like going in and tapping it into the skin and I'm not like streaking it or brushing it. Sorry, I'm using my left hand, so it might look a little awkward, but anyways, it just, oh God, it's so amazing. This is just the greatest thing out there. So you can layer this foundation if you want to, which that's the other great thing about it. If you guys feel like you do want a little bit extra coverage, which I think you can totally fully get that with just like one small little pump or like 1.5 small pumps. But you can layer it on, let it dry a little bit, and then you can do another layer if you really want to look like very, very airbrushed. But like I said, I feel like you can definitely get that with just this one pump. But it's so beautiful, you guys. It just looks like a newborn baby. It's so beautiful. Like I said, it comes in a million different shades. So I kind of work with NC and NW, if you guys know MAC shades, and I kind of mix them together because sometimes it can get a little bit more yellow. Sometimes it can get a little bit more warm on me. They do have some neutral shades in like the C, I think it's like C1.5 up to like C4.5, forget now, but it's just so, it's so beautiful, you guys. Oh, love it. My other foundation that is my ride or die that I will always use for the rest of my life is the Makeup Forever HD Stick. These are literally life-changing. They're so beautiful. This is super easy to use because literally I'll just twist it up. I'll do like 1, 2 little stripes here, one on my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and a little on my chin. And I'll blend it out with this little brush here. And it's just super easy, you guys. I feel like I could do this in the car with no mirror. I can just like put it on, blend it in, and it just gives like that really pretty sheer look. But it does say, I feel like it does say full coverage. It doesn't say full coverage, but I feel like it definitely is if you layer it. But I'll just do those kind of like stripes on my face and blend it out. And I just feel like it looks like skin. So I love that. I love how accessible and easy it is with the twist. I had never found a stick foundation as good as these. I know there's tons out there. The other one that I never really got on board with was the Hourglass one. I feel like the colors were just really strange and I could never find my color, which I was mad about because I wanted to try the foundation, but they were always very yellow based. And I have more of like a yellowy pink undertone. So could never find that shade. But for those of you out there that love Hourglass, comment below, let me know what shades you use, or maybe you mix a couple. Let me know how you like the formulation. But yeah, these are so amazing. These are a little trickier too because they come literally in like, I feel like 100 shades. But I have the color 153 and R330. The colors are really strange. I wish they made the colors a little easier. The numbers are very confusing. But anyways, love these guys for super easy just use and looking really dewy and glowy and just like skin and very youthful. So the last foundation I want to talk about is the foundation that's on my skin today. This one I saw on Instagram and I was like, all right, done. Purchasing it right now. So this one is definitely very high end. This is more on like the Giorgio Armani, like Chanel, and I don't know, there's a couple more out there, but like range. These are like to die for. I got it in 2 shades. I've been obsessed with these foundations. Oh my God, you guys. So this is the McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. They come in a bottle like this. I have to save the packaging because the packaging is so beautiful, you guys. She really brings it. Everything I've purchased from her line has just been so over the top. I love it. So it comes in a box like this and it just pops out like this. It's so awesome. And then the shades are on the top. It's such a great, like, her packaging is unbelievable. But so the foundation is like this. It does come in like a very heavy glass bottle. But this foundation is amazing, you guys. I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I do. I saw it on her Instagram and a model was wearing it. And I was like, okay, done. I need my skin to look like that. It was beautiful. So I feel like it just looks very healthy and dewy. Even though I have a few breakouts right now, I just feel like the coverage is amazing. It doesn't feel super heavy or thick on the skin. And oh, I just have been loving it, loving it, loving it. So it is more of a, almost feels like, these are not my favorites, but I just wanted to show you guys comparisons really quick. If any of you out there have the YSL I don't even know what this is called. Oh, Latent blah, 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 something in this bottle, or this Dior Nude. This is the Air Flash or something. Nude Air Dior Skin. Any of these two. I don't love these because I feel like they're a little bit more like oilier feeling, but the Pat McGrath one has a very similar like effect that these do, but I just feel like, I don't know, these are just very oily. Like they have that like dropper where I just feel like it's pouring oil into my skin. Even though it's very sheer, I just feel like they never gave enough coverage. And this one, it did the kind of the same thing, just felt like that very like oily consistency. Not even oily, I mean, they're supposed to be, I guess, more like watery feeling, but I don't know, I just feel like it was like dry or something. But this one definitely gives a very dewy effect with coverage, and I just have been loving this. So that's that. So you guys, we went through all 10 foundations. I feel like my favorites so far are the last 3 I just showed you guys. I've been loving them, but they're all great for different purposes, different reasons, different skin textures. So try some out, maybe that you haven't tried before. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think we are done here. This concludes everything. And yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.